Aloha, welcome back to the Roots of Barbering channel. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed. And before we get into everything, we ask if you like the content so far, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notifications. I will be bringing on my partner in crime, Gio, and today we will be talking about the different schools of thought on barbering techniques and tools. So, Brother Gio, if you would, come on. There's my man.
Yo.
Hey. What's up, brother?
Everything good?
Yeah, man, everything is. I can't complain. Shoot, I got no complaints today or any day, really. Nobody trying to hear no complaints anyway, so.
No, man.
Yeah, man.
No, man, no complaining, man. You know.
How you been?
We can live, we can do things, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, I'm happy, you know. And hopefully this month's gonna be a busy month for me, you know. We start working on Wednesday, and
there you go, reopening,
reopening, man. So it's gonna rock the house, man. Rock the house.
Better get your sleep now. You better get
man.
these last few days of sleep.
Exactly, and no vacation, no more.
No lunch breaks come Wednesday.
Yeah, man. So that's kind of cool, man. You know. Yeah, you got a good topic, right?
Yeah, we got good. I thought after our last episode, your awesome tutorial on clipper over comb and guard usage, that we can talk about the two schools of thought, which generally are the traditionalists, which say using guards or the plastic clips is not barbering. That a client can do that at home themselves if they bought a kit with colored guards at the store or Amazon. And then there's the other school of thought that says, use every tool that you have in order for you to efficiently get the haircut done, right? You and I kind of the more traditional school of barbering, right? We definitely try to follow along the lines of what old school barbering and traditional barbering is. But let's go to you first and see what your thoughts are on all of this.
Well, I got a simple thought, it's like, I don't care, if you do cutting hair with your teeth, man, or with your toes. I don't care at all. As long as the customer's happy, man, they happy, Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter anyways, man. There's so much ways to roam, and you just got to figure out what's on that point is the fastest, the best, and the most convenient way, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of like you need to know everything, and I mean, like you can use clipper guards, clipper over comb, scissor over comb, and whatsoever. And for me, it's kind of like there's no right or wrong in this whole profession or craft, because the thing is, everybody does it how he likes it, And you, as a barber or as a hairdresser or whatever, have to be comfortable with what you do. So. What's the bother, of like, yo, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. There ain't no right or wrong. Everything is wrong and everything is right. That's my philosophy, So for me, it's kind of like, man, just go with the flow, And I mean, like, I use different techniques. Sometimes, I got somebody in my chair, who got an afro, and... It takes me a while because I thought he had less hair than he had, and it took me like 20 minutes longer. So I need to focus on, okay, I don't want my next customer to feel rushed or anything, but I know some techniques so I can clipper faster, And those are the kind of things. It depends also on what kind of shop you work at, right? Because you got an hour shop like you and me, and you got 20-minute shops and even 15-minute shops. So
15-minute shops,
I mean, like that's something you have to figure out for yourself, And for me, it's kind of like if you know everything. And probably nobody knows everything because there's way too much techniques and way too much things, you can still learn, even you and me learn. And I think if your weapon arsenal or all the knowledge that you have can expand by every day or every year, it's a good thing, right? And use everything what you need to use to make a good haircut. you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, like you
Let
see,
me adjust this light on you, brother, while you're so it doesn't look like I'm going blind. It's gonna mess up our little flow.
that's why you
There.
look like an angel, man.
Yeah, I think it's my car parked outside my kitchen window that's bouncing the sun off my eye. I was like, oh, shit, man. But I totally hear what you're saying, and I'm, I agree 100%, right? I think what's most important to me, really, and in training my barbers, is that you have to know the basics and the fundamental techniques of like clipper over comb and shear over comb and sort of the old school way of doing it in order for you to understand the cause and effect if you go to using your clips or guards, right? So say, for example, if someone in the shop was to say like, why, and clients, they kind of cut by numbers most of the time at homes, or if they come to you from another barber, they might say like, oh, I get a 5 on the side or a 8 on the side. So as a barber, you should know if it's your preference of technique, like what does the clipper over comb get you in terms of a 5? How far out are you holding that comb to get you a 5 or a 3 or a 2 or and so that way you're better understanding all the tools instead of just using different things and not really understanding what's happening while you're using them,
Well, the thing is, it's also like I explained, we have a new YouTube video online, a tutorial, where I show everybody clipper guards and clipper over comb. Benefit with a comb is just it's flexible, and a clipper guard ain't. And if somebody got like bumpy heads or anything, and you go in with a clipper guard, probably you will go too short. And it's a millimeter, but you will see it directly. And if you use a comb, that's a little bit flexible, so you have a little bit of margin to work with, And if you need to detail it, you can also use a clipper guard afterwards. And for me, that's kind of like, that's the way how I cut at the shop, right? And it always gives you benefits because everybody can do a fast cut, right? But a right cut for that person that day, it's always hard, But you have to figure out what is the best solution for everybody,
I mean, even on like if you were to do coarse hair, or what we call black hair or Afro hair, right? I mean, you're not going to take that up section by section like a section guard and pull it up and cut it and pull it up and cut it. Most efficiently, you determine the length of what it is, put your clip on and run over it in all different angles to make sure that everything is even based on the desired length, right? So, for Afro, you might be able to pick everything out in freehand with a clipper, right? Because you don't have a clip big enough depending on the Afro, right? So, but when it gets down to something very short in terms of millimeters, you're not going to be able to, so you have to have a technique where it's balanced and it's even, and likely that's when you reach for your clips versus a clipper over comb on the top. Not to say that it can't be done, but if you're working in a 20-minute shop, a 15-minute shop, a 30-minute shop, and you've got clients waiting, you're not gonna, you're gonna go with what's most efficient for you. So.
Yeah, that's the same with flat tops. I have a flat top comb. I freehand or whatever. It doesn't matter, man. Who's people say you're cheating then or whatever. It doesn't matter, man. If the end result is there, who gives a beep? Because the thing is, it doesn't matter anyways. It's about, you and your client and how you work with your client and how you communicate with your client. And if they come the next time, if your results are 100 pro, right? And it doesn't matter. Like I say, I don't care if you take it off with your teeth, man. If the end result is there.
Well, I might have to figure that out. That's a high price service right there, man. You want to keep hair?
Man, I did one time because somebody back in the day they said like, hey, can you cut with everything? I said I can use a nail clipper, man. And I started doing with a nail clipper, man. I don't care, I just see all sorts of forms and shapes, when I see something. And the thing is, for me, it's an artistic thing, and it's not like who's the best or not. There's always going to be somebody better than you, man.
Well, sure, you've seen the clips on YouTube or social. I mean, I've seen, this was a couple years ago, but there's some guy in Europe that has like Edward Scissorhand thumblets that he has like blades on his and then he's cutting hair like this, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Or he
man.
has samurai swords, or
Yeah, there was also a guy in Japan, man.
Yeah, and there's a kid that a buddy of mine, actually one of the basketball players from college, he was the one that kind of inspired me to become a barber back then, because he would do haircuts and fades in the dorm for like $5, $8, you know. So he had like one pair of clippers, couple clips, you know. And so he sent me a link, knowing that I'm a barber now, and there was this kid in China, definitely in Asia, but I believe it was China. And this young kid can't be more than like 7, 8 years old, maybe younger than that. And he's like a haircut prodigy, right? So he just had one pair of clippers, and he was showing like some of the tools he was using to cut hair. And he had like, you know, the electric fan in your house, and it's got the cage. So he took the cage off of that, and he took the thing off, so there's a hole in the middle of the cage, and he put it over a lady's hair. Then he pulled all the hair through the cage. And this kid is like 10, or, you know, dropped it all down, and then cut her fringe and this whole bowl cut around this fan, and it dropped out. I was like, that's a good looking haircut, man. You know, so like innovation, creativity, whatever gets the job done. And at the end, if the client looks at it and gives you a thumbs up and pays you and tips you, what does it matter, man? You know, create your own. And I think it all comes down to creating your own identity too, in terms of like how you cut hair. And the worst thing that could happen is you don't have any technique, and you don't understand any tools, and you're just cutting by feel, or you're just cutting blindly, and your results at that point can become inconsistent. Like if that client comes back and you don't really know what you did or how you got to the end result and what tools you used to get that, that's when it becomes more, I think, of an issue.
I think that's a good thing, you know, because you need to understand what you do and why you do it, you know. Mm-hmm. I think everybody that cuts hair comes to a point, you know, that they are like, hey, man, I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, everybody had that. There's always a moment that you think like, I don't even know what I'm doing, you know? Yeah. So you have to figure out, you know, and take the puzzles, you know? So yesterday there was like a super dope video from Robert Glasper, right?
Okay.
And he's a famous piano player, keyboard player, and he does awesome, cool things.
Yeah.
So what he had was like everybody DM him, hey, can you send me your charge? And he like, why is everybody sending me all these DMs, you know, about well, like, hey man, sending me your charge? So I reposted that, because the thing is, it's also like, why don't you figure it out yourself first and then ask if you don't know, you know? But first, try to figure it out, because it will help you to be better and better and better every time, you know? It's easy to go on YouTube or ask somebody, hey man, can you tell me that? I can explain everything, but what kind of benefits do you have it? Yeah, you got everything on the silver or gold plate, you know, and then you do it. But what's the fun of that, man, you know? You need to do it yourself, and you need to fall down as well, you know, because the thing is, the more mistakes you make, the better you get, you know.
Oh, I know that firsthand.
You know,
not just in life, but as a barber too. I've had many a moment in my days where I'm like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that.
No,
you know?
Man. That's the thing of like, you know, it's like romance, right? You know, you think this girl got a booty and everything, and you're like, this is my dream woman, man. You know, I will marry her, man. And then 1 year later, she think like, sheesh, man, this is not the woman that... And then you start cheating and whatever. And you know, those are not mistakes. You cannot have regret, you know, just because you make a flaw or whatever. No, it's a learning process. So
well, I'll tell you what, I could have used our last tutorial, the last one you just did on clipper over comb. I could have used that about 9 years ago when I thought my clipper over comb game was pretty solid, and I wasn't paying attention, and I went clipper under comb, and oh man! And then for sure I went to the clips after that, like, oh shit, what's my 1.5?
Yeah, man, and those things, it's kind of like, I always try to develop myself and try to figure out what others do, and I just pick out my moments and my things, what other people do, and just try to combine it with what I know right now. And
Yeah,
this is the game, what you have
yeah,
to play.
yeah,
You just pick out all these people, and just figure it out, make a whole puzzle, and make it your
yeah,
puzzle. Yeah, and that's the only thing and the only way I think it should be, right? Because you can learn from everybody, and as long as your customer is happy,
that's
there's
what that
nothing to
matters at
worry
the end of
about,
the
right?
day, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it's good that we had this discussion because I know it can be intimidating and frustrating for new barbers coming in to see, they'll see it when they work in a shop. They'll see every barber kind of adapting their own unique way of cutting, right? Unless you're at a shop that has a unified system in place of cutting, right? But most cases, you're working alongside guys that have cut before, so this is how they're going to cut in the shop. And you look down the line, it's all the same end result, very similar results, but you might hear like, well, I do it because of this, and I use these because of these, and I don't use those because of this reason. And it's important to understand that all tools, as long as you know how to use them to get to end result, are good tools, right? Just understand why you use them, what the benefit of using each one is, and then determine for yourself which ones you use as you develop your own style of cutting hair. And I think that's the key point, because I know in the beginning I was caught up in those two schools of thought when I first started, and then even Barber Dan, my mentor, he rarely used, he would use some, but he would use the small clips just for his tapers, and he wouldn't reach for like a big one. He had them on his station, but would rarely use it. So I was kind of in that, like, well, if he's not going to use it, I'm not going to use it. If I want to be like him one day, I got to do it now. And, you know, later on, he says, yeah, you can use them. I just didn't use them. But it's not like I never used them, so.
And that's the thing,
Yeah,
just try to use everything, because
yeah,
eventually
yeah,
you need everything. And
yeah,
sometimes you cannot solve it with a comb, and sometimes you cannot
yeah,
solve it with a clipper guard. So you have to
yeah,
have everything in your
yeah.
arsenal. And,
Be well versed. Yeah, be well versed. Be well rounded.
yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for the talk, bro. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
hopefully you guys understand what we're talking about.
yeah,
And
yeah. Remember, the technique is called clipper overcomb, not clipper undercomb. If you go undercomb, you're gonna find out why I was. You'll find out early to never do clipper undercomb again once you do it one
yeah,
time.
man.
So, yeah, man. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Bless, fam. See you next time.
Yeah, and shoot, good luck on the opening this week,
Yeah,
bro.
man. Thanks a lot,
Make
man.
that money. Shoot,
Yeah, man.
love you, bro.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.